No Excuse: The Power of Self-Discipline. Written by a New York Times bestseller author Brian Tracy. Part 20. Chapter 11. Self-Discipline and Sales. Nothing happens until a sale takes place. Said by Ray Martley. The most important element in business success is selling. Nothing happens until a sale takes place. All the factors, business, offices, and products are of good and service leap into action only when someone somewhere makes a sale to someone. Selling is one of the highest professions in America. It is also the only profession in which a person can start with limited skills to achieve one of highest income in our economy. Moving onward and upward in sales is like driving on the ambition in Germany. There are no speed limits. You can go as far as you can went by stepping on the acquiring your own ambition to determination to excel in the professions of sales. Business success or failure. Thousands of breakout or innovation companies have been analyzed over the years to determine why they failed. After all the data was studied and staked, every business failure came down on the reason: low sales. In contrast, whenever a business was succeeding, growing, and earning profitability, increasing its share place to offering opportunity for more and more people, the reason boiled down to one factor: high sales. Everything else was secondary. Almost everything you do in a business either increases or decreases sales. Everything either helps or harms. Everything either attracts and keeps more customer or drives them away. Everything counts when it comes to sales. The discipline of generating sales. Whether you are a salesperson or a business owner, you require the self-help discipline to focus and contribute of generating sales every hour of every business day. A group of researchers interviewed several hundred senior executives and business owners and asked them, how important are sales and marketing to your business? Without expressions, they all recurred. Sales and marketing are absolutely essential to our survival and growth. The researchers and contribute of the time and motion study the day some business owners and executives following them around the tracking their time uses over the course of a month. At the end of the time, they complete their calculations and determined that with the average of business owners or executives who professed that sales were absolutely essential to survival and growth was spending only 11% of him time on sales and marketing. The remaining time was spent on meetings, discussions, paperwork, administrative work, lessons, and a variety of the other activities that contribute nothing to sales generation. If you are a sales manager or business owner, you must discipline yourself to focus most of your time and attention to getting your salespeople to generate the sales on which your company depends. You must spend 75% of your time working with your salespeople and accompanying them when they visit your customer to make presentations and sales. Do your paperwork before or after work, but during the working hours within customer are available be seen. You should dedicate yourself early to sales generation. How to go broke. Some years ago, I started a new businesses. I developed the product and began advertising via direct mail, radio, television, and newspaper. I allowed myself to become completely overwhelmed with planning, paperwork, and advertising. Advertised by the end of the year, I was out of money and my business was almost broke. At that time, I realized that I had taken my eye off the ball of sales. I then sit down over timings and depends of complete sales process. On January 2nd, I picked up the telephone and began making appointments. Over the next 2 months of aggressive and focused sales activity, I did more business than I had done over the entire previous year. I saved my business and my home, and I never lost sight of that focus again. One of the most important questions you can ask as a salesperson, entrepreneur, or business owner is whether what you are doing right now is leading to sale. Ask this question of yourself repeatedly throughout the day. Every time the answer comes up no, you must immediately stop whatever you are doing of lower value and turn your attention to sales generation. In addition, to make sure that you are all people who are responsible for sales in your company, ask and answer this question in the alternative all day long. Overcome your fear of rejection. Assuming that you have an attractive product or service, one of the is responsibly priced and saturated into the current market. The biggest problem that telephone salesperson and outside sales people face in the rejection, the fear of rejection does more to stress in a sales career in undermine and sales attitudes than any other single factor. It is the measure of sales to sales success. It takes tremendous discipline or salespeople to get up every morning and go out and face the invaluable rejection that they know they are going to receive all day long. Most people cannot handle this continuous rejection. Therefore, I avoid the emotional path that comes with rejections. Many salespersons engage in the sales of disciplined activities to avoid being rejected. First of all, the market fever calls. According to Columbia University, the average salesperson works about 90 minutes per day. In other words, only about 1.5 hours out on 8-hour day. He spends the rest of the time warming up, the getting ready, suffering by paperwork, checking the internet, reading the newspaper, cutting with co-workers, coming in the late, leaving early, and taking extended lunches and coffee breaks. As a result, by the end of the day, on average, the salesperson has worked only 90 minutes. Increases face time with customer and projects. When a salesperson working, the salesperson is working only with when he or she or year and year or space with someone with can and will buy within responsible period of time. The rules of sales success can be continued in 6 words. Spend more time with better projects. There is to no other way to generate a high, constant, a profitable level of sales results. Because of the fear and the rejection, however, salespeople pertinence and daily throughout the sales day, during every day possible, to avoid getting face to face with people who can say no. The key to sales success, as I learned as young salesman, is to realize the rejection is not personal. Prospective customer always say things like, "No, I am not interested," or variations of, "I don't want it," "I don't need it," "I can't use it," "I can't afford it," "I am not in the market right now," or "I am happy with my existing supplier." The professional salesperson realized that these are simply normal and natural response and any commercial offer in a competitive marketplace. Again, they are not personal, so don't take them personally. Remain positive and optimistic. The key to sales success is to ultimate their fear of rejection. To become so confident and optimistic that can call continuously all day long and still remain positive and careful, as Weston Careful said, success is the ability to go from failure and to failure with no loss of stream. There is a direct relationship between the number of new customer contacts you make and the level of sales. If you want to increase the number of sales, simply discipline yourself to call or on more prospects. When you increase your levels of sales activity, you also activate the law of possibilities to work on your sales behavior. You trip into the law of average, work with the numbers and ensure success. How double your sales income? Practice the minute principle. In your sales work, this principle says that if you are earning all the money that you are earning today with only the numbers of minutes and spending face-to-face customer today, by increasing that number of minutes, you can also increase your sales. With outside salesperson, we encourage them to double their number of minutes they spend face-to-face with customers. We teach them to use every bit of intelligence and creativity they have to increase the amount of them they spend talking in a person with projects rather than following the path or lost shifts and allowing the themes words to precipitating getting out into marketplace. In almost every case, when a salesperson doubles their number of minutes and that is sure she spent face to face or are with the customer, that salesperson may double as well. This is not accident. It is based on the law of probabilities. Control your sales activities. You can seldom tell where your next sales is going to come from. Therefore, you have to cast a wide net and speak to many prospective customers as possible. The actual sales itself is not under your direct control. It's controlled by a variety of factors about which can do very little. But the activities that lead to sales are completely under your control. The rule is do what you can with what you have right where you are. To achieve highest levels of sales success, you must discipline yourself to plan your days and weeks in advance. You must discipline yourself to plan your sales activities, especially your prospecting activities every single day, and then you have discipline yourself to follow through on your plans and resolutions. Improve your ratios. There are certain ratios in selling that legally determine how many sales you make. Those ratios vary depending on your level or experience and ability, the competitions, the prices of your products or services, and the general market. Nonetheless, those ratios always expect there is a direct ratio between the number of cold calls and make the number of positive customers that you will be able to tell or to visit. There's a direct ratio between the number of prospective customers you see to tell and the number of projects that you can follow up on. There is a direct ratio between the number of people you follow up on with proposals with professionals and the number of sales that you close. You can also think of this as sales funnel. Into the funnel, i.e. the board in go your projects. The second part of your funnel is your presentations. The third part is where you follow up and close the sales. Keys to sales success. You have two responsibilities when it comes achieving your success in sales. First, of all, keep your funnel full. Always have more projects to call on them. You have time during the day. Never let your funnel become empty. Never run out projects. Second, get better at each stage of selling. Study, read, listen, and audio programs and upgrade your skills in prospecting, presenting, and closing sales. The better you get, the fewer perspectives you require in the top of the funnel or generate sales out of the bottom of the funnel. Start early. Discipline yourself to make your first call early in the morning by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. When you start your day with a face-to-face sales call, you will be more organized and motivated to continue selling all day long. Discipline yourself to cluster your calls in small GEO graphical areas so that you can get face-to-face with more people in shorter amount of time. Many salespeople, because they are far of resistance to spread their calls out over the large graphical area and then convince themselves that they are actually working when they are really simply driving from call to call. Remember, you are working only when you are ear-to-ear face-to-face with someone who can and will buy within a responsible period of time. At all other times, you are unemployed. Set higher standards for yourself and discipline yourself to act every minute of the day as if everyone were watching you. Outside salesperson require a higher level of discipline than people who work in the office where everyone can see them, because salespersons are on their own like guerrilla fighters in the sales jungle. The television is never ending to suck up to take it easy or go for office or lunch rather than to make sales call. To perform at your best, the most discipline yourself to work throughout the day. As through your sales manager was during the right alarm, evidence that your sales manager is sitting next all day long. How would you work differently is someone who attempting would end up saying everything you did throughout the day. Whatever you are the answer, that is how you should work even when no one else the around. All sales skills are learnable. To become one of the highest paid salesperson in your industry, you must discipline yourself to practice continuous professional and personal development. Read in the 5 feet every day. Listen to the educational audio programs in your car as you drive along. Attend the every sales seminar you can, whatever sponsored by the community or not. Dedicate yourself to continuous learning as your failure depends on it, because it does. The turning point in my life when I was a young salesman, frustrated and unhappy getting in circles and the bubbly making a living, was I when learned the law of causes and effect. I learned that if you do what the most successful salespeople do, there is nothing that you can stop you from eventually achieving the sales results and rewards that they do. I learned that every salesperson in the top 10% started in the bottom 10%. Everyone who is doing well today is on the doing proudly. Every person that the top your field was in of the time are not your field all and did not know that is excited. I learned that all sales skills are learnable. You can learn any skills you need to learn as if any sales goal you can set for yourself. There are no limits except the limits you place on yourself with your own thinking. When you discipline yourself to become one of the top salesperson in your field, you will find that you will have turned an important corner in your career. The most salesperson do only what they have to do, keep their jobs. But those people who resolve to become the best in their fields accomplish far more than anyone else. Your job is to be one of them. In the next chapter, I will talk about money and how the practice of self-discipline in this area can determinately increase your likelihood of achieving all your financial goals. I invite you to listen to the next chapter of this book. Thanks for listening.